Hello and welcome to NIMASA This Week. My name is Frank Edo. It's a loaded package today, so join us on this voyage. Well, we're going to start with harnessing of the blue economy, the latest efforts taken to harness the blue economy, especially in the Gulf of Guinea. We'll also take you to my state, Akwa Ibom State, or on to be exact, the Maritime Academy of Nigeria. Well, it experienced its first passing out in 6 years. It was a grand event. We'll let you know about it later on. These and many more coming up on NIMASA This Week. All right, let's start with the fact that the NIMASA Director General, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, led a delegation to the Dubai International Maritime Expo, where he rubbed minds with his contemporaries from all over the world. He announced that the agency will enforce strict compliance to the International Maritime Organization regulation, which puts a maximum of 0.5% sulfur cap on all fuel used by vessels by the year 2020. Dr. Dakuku said that part of the requirements adopted at the 73rd meeting of the Marine Environment Protection Committee, MEPC, of the United Nations Maritime Organ was to reduce the sulfur content permitted in ships' fuel oil globally to 0.5% with effect from 1st of January 2020. According to him, the 2020 fuel challenge is geared towards energy efficiency, environmental pollution control, health, as well as core regulatory enforcement issues. Welcome back to NIMASA This Week. Now, let's talk about something that happened in the city of Lagos. 14 countries from the Gulf of Guinea converged in Lagos, Nigeria, to deliberate upon safety and security in the region. They know that this in turn would boost food security. The Gulf of Guinea Commission was established by the treaty signed in Libreville, Gabon on July 3, 2001. 17 years after, the Commission membership has increased and collaboration is now seen as essential to attain the goals of the Commission. So when the delegates converged in Lagos at the instance of NIMASA, it was simply a business-like atmosphere. The seminar on the blue economy to promote sustainable shipping in the region was declared open by the Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, who was represented by the agency's Executive Director, Administration and Finance, Mr. Bashir Jamo.
The African countries, particularly Gulf of Guinea, begins to realize the enormous resources in abundance on the beds of our blue sea will be the gold mine in the near future instead of concentrating on our own crude oil. You will agree with me, most of the developing countries that are patronizing our own oil, they are working day and night to see the alternative source of energy instead of concentrating on crude oil. Countries within the African sub-region that never experienced crude oil, today they are having crude oil. Those countries include Ghana, Niger Republic, and even the Republic of Benin. They are all prospecting oils. And in the near future, we may not be able to have anything to trade with and to boast with in our own economy, rather than to come back, retract, and observe what do we have apart from this crude oil.
He also stressed the importance of the Gulf of Guinea to food security to the West and Central African sub-region, stating that the region must be properly secure to avert illegal activities that may hamper food supply in the African region.
For those of us that we understand the issues of fishing, shrimps, and other energy in our own shorelines, we can be able to conduct research and see how these resources can be harnessed as an alternative source of energy in terms of crude oil.
Also speaking at the event, the Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, Ambassador Florentina Adenike Okonga, commended the leadership of NIMASA for the role the agency is playing in ensuring safety of lives and property in the region.
This second seminar of the Gulf of Guinea Commission this year is entitled The Blue Economy in the Interest of Food Security in the Gulf of Guinea region. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the management and staff of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, and all those who have worked tirelessly to make this seminar possible.
One of the presentations on the sustainable use of the blue economy to ensure food security was presented by Captain Atakpa of the Nigerian Navy.
Can Earth actually sustain the expected 9 to 10 billion population by 2050? And I believe, in my humble view, that the search for an answer to this question, coupled with Earth's inability to self or auto-replenish itself, necessitated a shift from land to sea in search for alternative resources to Earth's erstwhile land-based resources. And the shift to the sea is occasioned by these peculiar attributes of the ocean, covering over 70% of the Earth, acts as transit medium for over 90% of international traded goods, provision of over 350 million jobs, generation of over $2.4 trillion per annum, as well as being a veritable means of livelihood for over 3 billion people, food and resource-wise, and therefore capable of meeting the resource needs of the global population of 9 to 10 billion by 2050. Therefore, the ocean has become everything to everybody. Ocean for food, ocean for energy, ocean for transportation, and the rest with value addition to human existence and well-being. But this new rush to the sea, it is feared, would imperil the sea in a similar way resource extraction on land had imperiled the land if not regulated. And to avoid a carryover of the recklessness that accompanied land-based resource extraction to the sea and oceans, the blue economy was conceived as a sustainable ocean economy and falls in sync with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 14.
From the Gulf of Guinea, let's traverse the whole of the African continent, shall we? Well, we're talking about the women that have to do with maritime on the African continent. They converge in Lagos also under the aegis Women in Maritime in Africa, WIMA. And guess what? You know their president is a Nigerian. Have a look. Women in Maritime Africa did birth in Nigeria when members of Women in Maritime Africa, WIMA Africa, the continental body of African women in the maritime industry, with the aim to promote female gender participation in Africa and the Nigerian shipping sector. The hall with participants from all over Africa was filled to capacity. And the outgoing president of the group spoke to NIMASA this week on what the future holds for African women in maritime.
Our goal is to reinforce the contribution of women towards blue economy. And then now that I'm finishing my mandate, I'm thinking that I should have started this since the beginning. But we've got enough member states with a blue economy committee there, and these ones can be the leaders of the process.
The newly elected president of WIMA Africa, who is also the Nigerian chapter president, Barrister Jean Chiazo Anishere, noted that one of the objectives of the association is to promote collaboration among the national, regional, and international maritime organizations.
We have to take WIMA Africa to IMO proper. I say proper not because IMO ordinarily recognizes us, but this time we want to sign an MOU with them and ensure that we get an observer status with the IMO. But also very importantly is to ensure that every national WIMA plays a vital role with the African Union.
According to her, the association will ensure advancement of gender equality in the maritime sector and support mainstream women participation in all aspects of the blue economy.
Women are actually the people that drive trade, particularly trade in developing countries, because trade in developing countries is mostly small scale, and it is the women that drive it. So I must congratulate WIMA Africa for this. WIMA Africa, we start every women empowerment program in the port is supposed to have custom women inside. You know why? Because they will understand how the other women feel better when it comes to regulatory functions. Moreover, ITC, for instance, recommends that women should be encouraged.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA. Changing the tides in your favor.
Now, I would love to take you on a tour to my state, Akwa Ibom State, but since I can't do that to everybody, well, this is a portal through which bits of that could happen. I'm talking about a trip to Oron, Akwa Ibom State. Oron is not only known for its fish supply and wonderful food, it is also the host of the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, an institution which NIMASA statutorily funds. They had their cadet passing out in 2018, passing out ceremony and graduation, and it was a wonderful affair. And Dr. Dakuku Peterside, the DG of NIMASA, sent word that NIMASA will continually support and grow the institution. The Maritime Academy of Nigeria is Nigeria's premier maritime institution charged with the responsibility of training all level of manpower to man merchant, navy ships, ports, maritime engineering workshops, pilotage, shipyards, and other marine-related industries. So when the 2018 graduating cadets filed out for their passing out parade, it was a carnival-like atmosphere. Parents, relatives, and friends traveled from far and near to celebrate with these latest human capacity additions to the Nigerian maritime sector. The rector of the academy, Commodore Duja Efedwa, announced that the academy is partnering with the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, to ensure that the training facilities in Oron are in line with internationally acceptable specifications to attain compliance with the STCW 1978 Convention as amended in 2010.
The minister has directed NIMASA and the sister agencies to support the Maritime Academy robustly, and NIMASA has taken up the challenge. NIMASA has agreed to help the academy procure simulators for training. For example, the full mission bridge simulator, which we don't really have here, NIMASA has promised to ensure that before the middle of 2019 we will have it.
Let's make it their way back to the saluting guys, and at that point I'll respectfully request that we will one last time such grace. If I knew to be this beautiful, I would have come in a white garment or attire to just sneak in and join them and take a moment of glory in the spotlight.
In a goodwill message delivered at the 2018 Passing Out Parade ceremony, the Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, who was represented by the agency's Executive Director Operations, Engineer Rotimi Fashakin, assured students and stakeholders of the agency's commitment to improving capacity development in the sector.
Let me speak to you, the cadets, those that are coming on stream today, those of you that are coming as great maritime professionals that are being injected into the industry. Yes, you are starting a career today, but I want to tell you that in the course of your career, it will not always be rosy. There will be time of discouragement. There will be time of disillusionment. But I want to tell you that it is for you to stay on there and to stay focused. As Sir Winston Churchill once said on a commencement ceremony like this, he said clearly, never giving, never giving, never giving, never, never, never. When you confront those situations at sea that tend to shake your resolve, I want to tell you to remember those words, never giving. Because it is when you don't give in that you will be the Greg Ogbefuns of this world. It is when you don't give in that you will reenact the same deeds that the great men and women that have passed through this great institution and are making waves in the industry. It is then that you will replicate what they are doing.
A total of 613 graduates, made up of 325 marine engineers, 142 nautical scientists, and 146 maritime transporters, were awarded diploma certificates at various levels.
It's been very, very complex to have gone through this training. Some of you at the time may face with that passivity and apathy, but you actually stuck in there. You showed resilience, therefore you are being challenged for tomorrow. The challenge of today is gone. You are prepared for tomorrow, for better engineering and core. So you should not forget to remain focused and not losing your peers' network. You are very lucky in your own time. There's this social media, email, WhatsApp, and all sort of social media that you keep reconnecting with your peers and colleagues. Please ensure that you are working together. Opportunities always radiate around those who make themselves present. If you are not active, opportunity may not radiate you. So you should know that opportunities goes around like a globe. You should continually be in there and being a participant. Therefore, you can have a great feat in life. Remember to be counted, because I remember when we were leaving school back in the 70s, our professor then said that, our principal said then that, Okbolakwe, dear Laumu, quite a number of you are graduating today, but it may not be all of you that will be outstanding. I pray that all of you be outstanding. So you should stand to be counted for greatness and great feat. As long as you remain very focused, I believe that you will make it.
I must say that the Nigerian maritime sector is the beneficiary of the partnership between the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Oron, and of course, NIMASA. Well, stated in clear and simple terms, the rector of the institution, Commodore Efedwa, explained his relationship with NIMASA under Dr. Dakuku Peterside.
Dakuku is a man, he has an uncommon character, you know. He's not that kind of person that just talks without taking any action. He's very passionate about this academy. He has never been here before. No DG has really come here before. But I told him, I said, my brother, please come. Come and see what we are doing out here. Then when we ask you for money, I'm sure you will not think twice about it. And when he came, he was extremely amazed with the little money we had, what we had done. And he has pledged to help us even beyond what we requested for. For instance, he promised to pay the salaries of foreign lecturers if we can source them, and has even offered to assist in doing that. We asked him for a few things, but he gave us much more than we want. And to demonstrate his seriousness, he has introduced his management to us, and there's a committee already meeting between us and them.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
It's not every day you see such a wonderful sight in the maritime sector. Well, I will have you know that passing out parade is the first of its kind for 6 years. It's not happened in 6 years. And we say, well done to the maritime sector. And because of that, we are going to end today's program with the sights and sounds of Oron, the Maritime Academy of Nigeria, to be precise, of their passing out parade in 2018. Thank you very much for watching this program. We will be back next week. Whatever happens in 7 days in the maritime sector or NIMASA, we are sure to tell you about it. My name is Frank Ido. On behalf of the crew, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
is also a female. Wow. I'm very proud of the women of this institution. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, GCC, Ogu, Gowere, Okubwa,